this afternoon. Mixed reactions greeting the Ghana Union of Traders directive to members of the business community to consider adjusting prices of goods and services as the Cedi gains marginal stability. You recall the Cedi ranked amongst the worst performing legal tenders in the world, forcing traders to shut down their shops last month in protest. In the last few weeks, the Ghana Cedi has seen some level of appreciation against the US dollar and is now trading at least 12 Ghana cedis. That's the range for now. Well, leadership of the Ghana Union Traders has asked members to review their pricing to reflect the current situation. But the business community is divided. While some have already started reducing their prices, others say that an immediate reduction in prices will lead to huge losses. My colleague Hannah Odami has been engaging some of the traders here in Accra.
Members of the Ghana Union of Traders Association were not enthused months ago when the country experienced high inflation and depreciation of the cedi. They asked for immediate government intervention. After what seems to be some stabilization of the cedi against the dollar, leadership of the Traders Union requested their members to reduce the prices of goods to correspond with the trend. This was met with mixed responses.
The goods has come down small because of the stable of the dollar. Now, dollar is almost 13.4 now, I'm speaking today. So that's why we also reduced the goods about 35% now. Things were selling at about 350 Ghana cedis and now sold it at 280 Ghana cedis. So because of the foreigners issue, so some of the foreign shops are closing. So now the foreigners can never deposit money to the black market and then forest bureau, because you know some of them doesn't have bank accounts. So any sales they are making, they deposit to the forest bureau and then the black market people. The only thing, you write your name and the amount you brought. So now forest bureau and black market people have dollar, but you don't have cedis to buy more dollar again. So now dollar has come down. So the government wants the dollar to come down, things come down more. It might reduce the duty, because now we hear that duty will go up and the taxes are going up. If that one happen, definitely goods will be going up after Christmas.
It's a good suggestion he has brought up, but then some of us imported at 15.5 for the US dollar. The benchmark has all gone up 100%. Rates on loans are still high. How do I reduce the prices unless I've sold them? We can't tell if the dollar will go up again. We are in the second or third week in December. Let's assume it goes up. If I should reduce it now, I will lose. Space starch faultless was being sold at 18 cents. It's not 34 cedis. If don't reduce it, so how do I reduce my products? It can't be possible. Until the benchmark is reduced, the dollar becomes stable. We can't reduce the prices.
We did say GUTA president wakasa ye, but more hand who be brave because a system. Ubi on kwaso koto ade o Soviet kobusa say aha ne boy say ha ne boy de say nti de obey na adwen say obey ne de chinchin ebegu ho do beti so ye beto nti we nu abe adjust na ho nya de say obi force no ho ana say eye no kre dollar na cost ro no na obi ato ne nemam akwanya afa so calculate ya utimi de tum no aba for my pass kwana so na den e calculate na nema na de emra for no obi ya de e ho nto no. But so you are doing say abedu side. Oh, you don't want to ya. Or you beto cable. Oh, not to cable into wire and then about time ross. About effective or Ubi be kwabo so kwan. About affecting or nti yenina ye tutu. This dollar na ba form. Obi amfa ba nyina obi aso, obi amfa tu nyina obi aso. Any based on currency no na de tutu. Say ba form. Akwan fa so de frost no. Emphasize the insane. A piece of man.
He first thanked the GUTA president for the directive, and he's also saying that he's appealing to his colleagues in the association that if it's possible and within their means to reduce the prices, they should. Otherwise, it may even affect them eventually if they do not, because people will end up going to other places. They are competitors.
That GUTA people, we've not seen them as at now. They've not spoke to us anything. They've not told us anything yet. So we are all sitting down waiting for them.
They are requesting if you can reduce your prices a bit.
That's what I'm saying. As at now, our boss is They most of the time they can do something about that, but we don't know what we can see as at now. We workers. Yeah,
But
so
do you
it
think
depends
it's
on them.
possible to reduce price? Is it possible?
Oh yes, to me, it's possible because we've heard that some things have even dropped down. So we are hoping better that by next year everything will be good. Because now the things are going up again. Yeah, because on Saturday we saw the dollar came down roughly 13 to 12. So things dropped down just a little. But as at now I'm speaking, they can even increase it back. So we don't know.
The traders say they continue to bank on further interventions from government to put them back on a business footing that they lost due to unprecedented escalation of the cedi. For Joy News, I am Hannah Odami.
Let's bring in now President of GUTA, Dr. Joseph Obeng. Thank you for joining us here on The Pulse. Members of the business community are obviously divided over your directive. How far have you gone in terms of engaging the business community on at least trying to adjust their prices?
We can only appeal to the conscience of the traders. The same way we appealed on their conscience to increase their prices when the exchange rate was very high. And so we know we are not in a price control regime. For that matter, you should know that we cannot impose anybody. But then we are only appealing. We can also have good faith on the good people of Ghana that when the exchange rate was high, where businesses were disadvantaged, we have to increase our price. When the exchange rate, the cedi has gained some value, then of course we have to transfer some of the gains to the consuming public. And that is what we have to do naturally. Our challenge here, however, is that most of our members have bought the forest at earlier on at a very higher price. You know, we reached a peak of 15.5, and then now it has dropped to below 13, around 12.5. So one have to strike the reasonable average to make sure that we are able to break even, at the same time transferring some of the gains to the consuming public. And this is must do, because if you do not much as we agree that most of the forest to rise up again before you can be competitive, no, because there are other people who are getting who are buying the dollar at a cheaper rate now, and those people are not going to wait. They are going to reduce their prices. So all that we have to do is to strike the reasonable averages, much as we know that most of us are going to lose some capital out of this price.
Dr. Obeng, you control a significant
in the market,
right,
and so it is.
And Dr. Obeng, you control a significant portion of the Ghanaian market. How is it that you're not able to convince your members to simply comply with your orders?
Oh no, this is not. I would say instructions. This is an appeal. We advise. We advise our members on what to do. You see, sometimes it's not even prudent to overprice yourself out of the market, because once you bought your dollar at a higher rate, and then you maintain your prices high, other people are going to sell cheaper. And when it happens like that, it means that you are unable to service your debt to the banks and also to service your suppliers. So then you are in a fix as to what to do. That's why we say that they should go back to the calculations, strike the reasonable averages, and we sympathize on all of us, because this is a very difficult time for trading, because it is not in our own interest that we bought the prices, the forest at a higher price, and then fortunately also the forest has come down. So then we have to make the balances that we can, so that we can remain significant and relevant in the trading that we do. So we are only advising them so that they do not even lose further by way of overpricing themselves out of the market.
At the time,
it's an advice that goes. It's an advice that goes to our members to stay afloat in business, and also advantage to show good faith to the consuming public that when the exchange rate went up, we increased our prices not because we hate the consuming public, but because of that factor. And now that it has come down, we also have to show good faith and compensate the consuming public in this regard. And we are also encouraging government to sustain. The key word here is how government is going to be able to sustain the whole process. Because much as we are saying that the price has gone down, and then we appeal to our members to reduce, when it goes up again, the same appeal will go the opposite direction for us to up the prices. And so we have to be able to sustain whatever efforts that we have put in place. We appreciate government efforts, and then we also appreciate the Bank of Ghana's efforts. But they should do everything possible to sustain this case that we are getting.
At the time you're making the demand, the dollar was crossing the 6 cedis, 5 cedis margin. Now you're way beyond the 10 Ghana cedis mark. So if that's what we're dealing with now, then I guess you have some difficulties in trying to convince your members to try and adjust their prices.
And the problem is, if you say that, is it really the time to do this? Then we will ask that, when is the time? In that case, are we saying that we have to wait till when we were at 6.2? Is it realistic demand? And that's why we say that there's a reasonable period of time, and there's a quite, even though not too big difference, but there's a significant reduction in or appreciation of the value, for which we can also transfer some to the consuming public. The whole thing is showing good faith to our consumers, because the trading that we do not with our customers, and so it is even important for us to give some respite for the consuming public, so that they can also continue to patronize.
And so, as we wrap up with this conversation, Dr. Obeng, right? Yes, but actually,
this is not something that one can impose, because we are not in a price control regime. As you know, we are in a very liberalized trade, and everybody have his way of doing his calculation. And so, if somebody has bought at 15.5, then of course the person is challenged to reduce his price, but he also have to factor other things because you can still remain at that price, because other people who are going to get the dollar at a cheaper price are also going to sell at a reduced price. So we have to do the reasonable balances and stay afloat. And
finally, you're saying that, and you insist that this is still a difficult time to be doing business. And what more expectations do you have from government in that regard?
Yeah, what we expect government to do is to ensure sustainability of whatever program or effort they are making to let the city gain some value. It's very important that we sustain it. If it is not sustained, then maybe the worst will even happen. So that's what we are expecting. And then also, the factors of costing varies. Duties are part, the VAT has been increased. Next year is going to come up, and that one is also going to push up the cost. Benchmark discount have been taken off the table. And so coming next year, we have these things also to contend with. And so if government intention is also to alleviate the plight of the consuming public, then they have to think about these factors that I'm talking about. Otherwise, they will get some gains at one point, and another time it also go up, which will not augur well for us.
Grateful. Dr. Joseph Obeng is president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. Still ahead, we're looking at the fresh demand coming through from the Trades Union Congress. They are asking government to be cautious about the debt exchange program and to exempt pensioners from the scheme. We'll talk about that when we return. Please stay.